G'day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan Metal video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at how the AGL LR Super Saiyan Goku does in the Cell Max event, and yeah, we're going to see just how good he is after his EZA. Now, full disclaimer, and I say this before any video where we do the Cell Max event, the Cell Max event is an event that is best taken on by units that have high levels of damage reduction, guard, evasion, or a combination of all of these. Because the Cell Max event has two relatively difficult stages, whilst having an extremely highly difficult third stage, most units don't have a lot of time to build up their full defense. Secondly, or thirdly I should say, Cell Max is a tech type unit, which means that units that are in typing, generally speaking, have an advantage when it comes to taking on his event. Now the thing is, ultimately at the end of the day, when we look at the LR AGL Goku, we're realistically just trying to see if he can tank a single attack. Although he has, 35% maximum damage reduction, and although his defense can get to decent levels, he is AGL type, and we are talking about the toughest and most difficult tech boss in the entire game. So it's very difficult, and it's kind of a bit unfair almost to evaluate Goku in this capacity. It's, you are essentially, I guess, gimping him. So it's very, very difficult to evaluate him solely based on his defensive performance in this event. I think he's a very good unit overall, but I think if you're going to bring him into the toughest tech event, you should expect what, can be expected. He doesn't have ridiculous levels of damage reduction, and unless he gets multiple supers off, he's realistically not going to have enough defense to take the Cell Max attacks. Now, if he can survive a normal, or not get killed off of a normal, or take like 200k or less from a normal, then it's okay. Definitely, I think, a very good performance from him. Because AGL units, like I state, generally have big disadvantages when it comes to their overarching performance in the Cell Max event. They inherently have a huge type advantage or disadvantage, which gives Cell Max, who already does huge damage anyway, even greater damage thresholds against these units. So it's not really the most fun time, one might say, for AGL units in this stage. With that being said, I think ultimately at the end of the day, you also have to accept that there are AGL units that can tank this event, whether that's through a combination of guard or other capabilities. They can, so we do have to evaluate him in that regard. But he's not a defensive unit, he's definitely more an offensive based unit, and we're just going to obviously see how he does. Now, for those of you who don't know, or just need a reminder, he gains attack and defense per Super Saiyan character in the rotation per orb. So if you have two Super Saiyan characters, he gains substantially more attack and defense. He also gains damage reduction and critical hit per rainbow orb that he picks up. He also generates rainbow orbs, so he's a pretty good unit in general. He brings a lot to the table, lots of good utility, quite a strong, capable unit. You can see here, decent attack stats. He's not going to have a problem up until the tech phase. He's not going to take huge damage. He's not going to have any major issues right up until the tech phase. He's generally quite a consistent good unit. So yeah, generally speaking, not a huge issue for him, at least, I would say. For the most part, you do want to just be careful of where you place him. I think at most, if you feel it's absolutely necessary to run him, I feel like at most you can run him as a floater, or just place him wherever there's not a lot of attacks. Basically, if there's a place where he can receive only one or two attacks, then that's going to be the best place for you to place him, realistically speaking, because he just cannot take super attacks, like, at all. Overall though, I think he is still a good unit. It's just always very difficult to evaluate units in these kind of situations. So it is something that's incredibly difficult. But I think overall he does a pretty good job. The big thing is obviously he performs better after his super. So he does raise his defense. He does do a better job. So he does do better after super. Showing you before super, he died instantly. It wasn't even like he. It was bad. So showing you before super, I even cut it out because it's not good. It's not good for our boy. But yeah, overall, this is a decent situation for him. Not maybe 2 Super Saiyans in rotation, but this is probably as good as you can get because you do want a really good first start tank for him. You don't want him to take any or be relied upon to go into the first slot at all. So this is definitely probably his ideal situation. And we can see, attack stat decent. We are relying on getting a additional. Without additional, it's probably going to take quite a fair chunk of damage. And you can see there, 380k. It's not really his fault, it's just how AGL units work in the Cell Max event. If they don't have guard or like 80% damage reduction, it's just not happening for them. That's it from me. Bye.